Welcome you back to BLACKSITE tonight. I want to talk about Irv Gotti on Drink Champs, revealing his relationship with Ashanti. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, also comment on this video. Irv Gotti, while on Drink Champs, smoking weed and drinking, revealed his relationship with Ashanti. We already knew in the past that they had a relationship, but he went in depth into the relationship. He talked about how the song Happy was made and how she came part of Murder Inc. But the part that disturbed me the most was the disrespect that he had for Ashanti. That Ashanti wasn't still working with Murder Inc. or participating in the Murder Inc. documentary, that she wanted no part of Irv Gotti. But Irv Gotti seems to be a bitter man, and he showed it on Drink Champs by disrespecting this woman, dissing this woman, and treating her like she was nothing but a thought. To talk about how their sexual relationship was and how the song Happy was made. That after having sex, he had the energy between both of them. And the melody came with him while he was in the shower. And he told a producer, could you put this melody together after humming it over the phone? Ashanti is over 40 years old. She seems to be a nice young lady. She seems to not have harmed anybody. But it seems like Irv Gotti is out to destroy her reputation. And sometimes as a man or a woman, that's all you have is your name. Yes, she may have had relationships with Irv Gotti, and maybe she could have used that relationship to propel her career at the time. And we know she worked with Ja Rule and so many others, and she had so many hits when she was with Murder Inc. But for him to talk the way that he talked about Ashanti is a disgrace. All he had to say is, yes, we had a relationship, she worked for us, it was fine, we broke up, and he could have went along. And you should have looked at how uncomfortable Ja Rule was, because Ja Rule has an excellent relationship with Ashanti. They was on tour together, and he really likes her as a sister. And this man right here was up there calling her a B, disrespecting her. And Ja Rule had to tell him, stop calling her a B. Because when he was in trouble, and we know what happened with the federal case, he was indicted, but he got fully acquitted, that she went on and had a relationship with Nelly. And he seems to be still bitter about that. Because if you're not bitter, why are you talking about it? Why are you going in depth into a relationship if you're not bitter about what happened? He did admit that he was kind of in love with Ashanti and that it wasn't her fault that his marriage fell apart, which is good. But to talk about her in that way, see, men of stature, men with respectability, have been with a lot of women. And what you don't do is tell the world what women you have been with. You don't disrespect the women. That's what you're taught as a man. But to do this to her, to talk about her as though she was trash flying in the wind, that he happened to come across, I made her, I put her on. Basically, he's saying she wouldn't be who she was if it wasn't because of me, and that she's not giving me enough respect basically talking to her as though he owned her. Now, I will give Irv Gotti credit in this part. He said he had a 7-record deal and she only did 4 albums and he let her go. And I said, hey man, I got a lot of respect for that, so she could move on with her life. But she didn't want to be involved in a situation in a company that was just raided by the FBI. And we know that the FBI has a 98% conviction rate. So in her own mind, she said, I have to move on. This is not the place where I should be. That's just a natural thing. Because you know the FBI is good for getting collateral damage. Hell, they'll take everybody down. But it seems like Irv Gotti still wants to roast Ashanti. And this is not a good look for Irv Gotti. He thought this was his time to show his masculinity. But this should have been a time for him to show what type of man he is and has he grown as a man. He should have said, yeah, she should have moved on. Because at that time we was in a situation to we didn't know if we were going to jail or not. And she has to continue her career. Sometimes you have to be humble. And he could have called her and said, hey girl, move on. Do what you got to do. You know, don't waste your time with me. I don't know if I'm going to make it. But it seems like this man was truly on a rampage to destroy any credibility that she has as a woman. And that's bad, man. I could not stand looking at this. Because it makes men look extremely black. And I'm glad that Fat Joe, he went off on Irv Gotti. Because he didn't have to do this. He did not have to say this. This girl has harmed no one. I have never really heard anything negative about Ashanti. You know, everybody do something wrong in the music industry. That's okay. But to treat her the way he has treated her, and her reputation in the industry as being a nice young lady, to do that to her was just cruel. And y'all know it was cruel. And it's wrong. And this man should apologize for what he did. If I'm a woman, I wouldn't want to work for this guy, even though he's a talented record producer. He had one of the best companies ever, and we could talk about what they did to Murder Inc., what they did to Jay Prince, what they did to Death Row. And I'm surprised ain't nobody for Rockefeller. That's a whole different thing right there. But he should apologize to this woman, because she deserves better. She doesn't deserve to be treated this way. When I watched the video, it was already 1 million. This thing might hit 5 million or 10 million of her disrespecting Ashanti. I want to thank you for listening to BLACKSITE. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.